We have fourth quarter earnings results coming in from Intel. Let's see how they did. Revenue coming in at $13.67 billion for the company. That is 4.1% down year over year. And the estimate had been $13.43 billion. So they did beat on that. Intel products revenue coming in at $12.93 billion. That is also down year over year. And the estimate had been $12.79. So they did beat there. Client computing revenue, $8.2 billion, down 6.6% year over year. And the estimate had been 8.3, so a miss on client computing there. And data center and AI revenue coming in at $4.74 billion. That is positive, almost 9% year over year. The estimate had been 4.42, so they built on the data center revenue angle. Let's get to first quarter forecast. Somewhere between $11.7 billion to $12.7 billion. The estimate is $12.56 billion, which is from Bloomberg. And they see operating expenses adjusted coming in at $16 billion. The estimate had been just below that. Demand, they say, is quite strong, but the company's working hard to fix manufacturing problems. They're depleting their inventory. Let's go to Ivana Delevska, founder and chief investment officer at Spear Invest, to talk about what we've seen so far. Ivana, what were you looking for in the year-over-year numbers?
Well, thanks for having me. The big disappointment here, it's really more on the guide for Intel. And the reason is because they're facing manufacturing problems with yield. So they're not getting as good yield on what they're inputting here. So that's really what the disappointment has been about. This has been a turnaround story. So a lot of people were betting on manufacturing getting better. So the fact that it's not yet there is disappointing for investors.
Is it good news that they're depleting their inventory in the sense that there is demand for their product?
Well, it's good and bad, right? So there is demand. We all know there is demand, but it's not that great that they're depleting their inventory, because how do we know that they're going to be able to secure more inventory? Really, the tightness that we're seeing right now is across the supply chain. So are they going to be able to secure more memory capacity? Are they going to be able to secure more components? So from our perspective, it's not necessarily a positive that they've depleted their inventory.
Okay.
Because then what we could be hearing is that now they don't have any inventory.
All right. When you look at the revenue streams, which one or two are the most important for this company?
Well, there are two parts of this business. One part is their chips, and the other part is the founder business, right? So the chip design side is really very important in that we're looking for signs that they start gaining back their footing against AMD. They're still losing share, we believe. On the flip side, the foundry side is really the problematic side. So we're going to dive deeper into the numbers and see whether foundry is still losing money and what the timeline looks for that to turn around.
Do you also worry about their valuation? Many are saying they've come too far too fast after the Washington investment, and there will be some sort of correction?
Well, the valuation is really going to be a bet on how quickly they can turn around their earnings, right? If they can grow earnings pretty significantly from here, or especially if the foundry side can stop losing money and become profitable, I think the stock doesn't look expensive. The issue is that we're not there yet. So it's always a little bit ahead of fundamentals just because it's trading a lot on these headlines and hope that the business will be turned around.
Okay, we have analysts, most of them, or 46 of them anyway, say they have a hold rating on Intel. Do you think the numbers released today change that rating at all?
No, I don't think so. I think basically, unless you are seeing some sort of a turnaround as a fundamental investor, it's going to be hard to recommend this stock. I think as we go forward in the year, if they can fix their manufacturing challenges, that's when we would see the street become more positive on this.
Okay, let's get to a couple of your stock picks right now. I'm going to start with Coherent, COHR. They do optical materials, but also semiconductors. Tell me a bit more.
So they do optical components that connect data together, right? So they connect the semiconductors to each other and to the outside world. So we see networking as a big opportunity here. They make optical components and lasers. That's really a theme that we're relying heavily on as we go ahead looking into this year. We really like the fact that this cycle turned around in the middle of last year. So we're starting to see supply really tighten up for this product. So we're pretty positive on optics overall, and Coherent is our top pick.
Okay, let's get to another one you like, which is Rocket Lab, their space exploration. What do you like about them?
So space is a new theme for us this year. We really are believers of these data centers in space theme. We think this is going to take long to play out, but launch capacity is really tight right now. So there's not really that much available capacity, and Rocket Lab really benefits well here. So we like space overall. AST Space Mobile and Rocket Lab are top picks in the space. Rocket Lab was hit a little bit, was down a little bit today because they had some launch issue for their new neutral launch. But we believe that those are going to be resolved, and we're pretty optimistic on the stock.
Okay, I do want to get to Lam Research, which is your third pick of the day. Tell me about Lam.
So Lam is really a play on the chips CapEx side. We think that that's really where a lot of the upside is going to come in the next leg of the cycle. So far, it's really been more chips manufacturing and design where we're seeing the upside. So this would be the NVIDIAs, the AMDs, the Intels of the world. We believe that now you're going to see capacity being constrained, especially on the memory side. So companies are going to have to start adding capacity, and that's where Lam benefits from. We disclose all of our holdings on our website, but this is one of our top picks on the CapEx side.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Ivana, but thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it as always.